Okay, so now we're getting into part two as to where are the toy trucks in Uganda, okay? But before we start, I was just checking up on this broad here. She's got her little live stream going on. You can see that. I turned off the volume, but I went into her last video because I made mention about her now asking through GoFundMe, and I find it kind of odd, people. The reason I say that, okay, and this one here is converting. You can see, right? That's part one. Okay, but I'm gonna put it on me for a second here before I start with Lady Jane and what's going on there, right? The reason I'm bringing up the GoFundMe, I swear these bitches. They creep my fucking channel. Like, they're looking for ideas all the time because they lack substance. They lack it, people. Alright, you know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, man. Like, actions speak louder than words. And the actions that I've been seeing from this individual all these years says a whole lot about the lack of substance that we're dealing with here when it comes to anything outside of it. Alright, so what I'm trying to say is, you know, I've been fighting a good fight for Lady Jane now for a while. We know that Lady Jane threw in a boomerang into the mix with her quote-unquote new content, which some people wouldn't necessarily want to be associated with, okay? Which is just kind of like making it harder for anything to happen when it comes to when does it become charity, right? In other words, whatever Lady Jane did when she switched over her content made it that much harder for me to convince other people that she's sincere about being a community activist and does charitable work. And the longer that she leaves the task of putting together a playlist so that people can see and find the charitable work that she does, where it's fluent and easy to access, and it counteracts, counterclaims, whatever her current content, which kind of should be somewhat behind closed doors to one degree or another when you're dealing with quote-unquote soft porn or those B movies, you know, B movies. That's where they show breasts, but maybe not the whole act of fornication. It's F-O-R-N. Fornication, copulating, having sex, right? You know what I'm saying? And when you're trying to approach other YouTubers, like this Joel dude, or maybe even Harriet the Traveler, and they go to Lady Jane's channel, and the first thing they see is what she's currently talking about, and no playlist to confirm that what I say is true when it comes to quote-unquote charitable acts and community activism. You know, it just makes it harder for me to advocate on her behalf in terms of Lady Jane, right? But then on the other hand, you know, I have history with this Latrice Allen. And like, it's pathetic because actions speak louder than words. So, but before I get to that part with the action, with the GoFundMe, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, whenever, I don't know what video it was. What video was it? It was some kind of video where oh yes, the Try Me Now video, right? Sharita, who is from Texas, but maybe he's in Baltimore, right? That one, right? I can't remember who suggested that maybe I should be thinking about a GoFundMe versus trying to approach these bigger YouTubers and asking them to help do a fundraiser specifically for Mama Peter, and if we could, for the larger community with that one lump sum donation where more people could be helped at one time versus one family at a time, right? I'm just going into my comments to see if I can locate the video. I don't know. I should probably find it in advance. But anyway, I think it was truly amazing who said it, that I should be maybe considering putting together a fundraiser through GoFundMe. Or at least Lady Jane. Lady Jane should put a GoFundMe together to fundraise for Mama Peter instead of putting pressure on me to follow through on the floor, as I am asking for other people to help me with that, because it's pressure, right? First of all, I don't even think Lady Jane can do a GoFundMe sitting up in Africa. So that right there is out the door. And as for any YouTuber doing any kind of fundraiser for Lady Jane, what's going on here? Oh, that video was deleted. Isn't that interesting? This one was already deleted. And I'm sure it had something directly related to Eleanor Gilding, who works for the province of British Columbia, Canada. Uncle John's sister, who medically kidnapped him so that she could steal his assets. And the government let her get away with it. Because I'm looking for the video that I'm talking about right now, and I see a string of no thumbnails, but I see the title, "You Need to Know, Code White BC, June 10th of 2020, YouTube removed this video." And that's why it's like that. Look at that. I wonder what would happen if I clicked it on. Well, the video is gone. Video comments. For whatever strange reason, it's still there. Details. Analytics setting. Details. Okay, let's go to details. Here it is. Oh, it's a live stream. Oh, it's still public. So it's still available. You need to know. Code White. Is it? I don't know. Oh, I guess so. I don't do live streams very well. Anyway, as I was saying, it was when I was asking for help with Try Me Now, Sharita from Texas, who could be Rita from Baltimore. Just saying. And the frustration that I'm feeling around it in terms of the pressure that I'm getting for the, to follow through on the floor, which is a noble cause, right? And we already know I can't get help from Latrice because it's never been about that with that woman. We know it ain't coming from Rosquaz because it's not about that woman. And I'm pretty sure it was truly amazing who came in and under that video that I did and said, well, why not Lady Jane do a GoFundMe? And I'm like, well, it's not that simple. These GoFundMes don't always necessarily work out very good because you have to push them forward through your own personal networks right? And just, if you don't have a lot of networking, you're not going to get a lot of support because those GoFundMe's just won't move. That's the first thing. And then, of course, there's fees to it, and you have to pay taxes on them as well. Also, Lady Jane is in Uganda, so it's not like she can set up the GoFundMe. Plus, when you're doing fundraisers for overseas, for example, in this situation, it would be from, let's just say I opened up the GoFundMe in Canada, and I was successful to push it forward so that I'd get donations, which we know that's not going to happen because I'm shadow banned. I'm made to look scandalous. I'm made to look like I'm insignificant, trivialist, and a waste of everybody's time. I'm made to look like I'm unintelligent and just a rambling lunatic, right? I'm made to look like there's something wrong with me so that people don't support me, but will support the Latrice Allen and the Raw Squads because, for whatever reason, they are more important than, and what they got to say is than what I got to say or represent, right? So you could forget about me putting together a GoFundMe with any substance when it comes to dollars coming into it, because ain't nobody going to give me that. And not only that, but legally, technically, I couldn't put a GoFundMe like that together and then send the money to Uganda. And I'd still have to pay taxes on it. But a YouTuber in the United States that had clout, they could, I would think, probably have a better chance of getting away with it, pay the taxes. So let's just say Latrice Allen decided to get a heart. Kind of like the Tin Man in Alice in Wonderland, right? Had no heart. Or was it the lion? I mean, the lion had no courage. Anyway, Andre, I hear you rattling, mumbling in the background. Just stay quiet, please, for a minute. And did do a GoFundMe and pulled in $10,000 through her clout. She could take the 30% off or whatever it is for taxes right off the top, keep it to pay the taxes, and then donate the rest, right? But it ain't going to happen because that's not what we're dealing with here, people. Instead, somebody mentioned GoFundMe, that I should be encouraging Lady Jane to do it, or maybe I should do it, I don't know. Next thing you know it, not even a week or so later, we've got Raw's Squad creating her own GoFundMe for her grandchild, so the grandchild can go off and do something versus just paying for it for the grandchild to go off and do it, being that she makes all this money off of YouTube, and she's got all this clout, and, she's a big bad fucking hoe up on YouTube Fig Street, basically. The baddest hoe on the block kind of thing, right? And then if it's not that, we've got Latrice Allen, who could, do something for Mama Peter's community, but clearly doesn't want to, because all of a sudden, out of the blue, she opened up a GoFundMe. Like all of a sudden, all these YouTubers are opening up GoFundMes for themselves, people, or their immediate family, as they're raking in big bucks off of YouTube monetization. Those groups that people join, right? You pay X amount of dollars per month to join the group so that you get the quote-unquote perks, not including their cash apps, their super stickers, and their super chats, and right? They're still not satisfied. And now they got the GoFundMe for their own agenda. And I'm like, that was just too coincident. Right? It was just too coincident. I got somebody telling me that Lady Jane or I should be opening up a GoFundMe for Mama Peter. Well, we've got Latrice Allen and Raw Squad catching wind of, maybe I should do it for myself. Right? Right? And they end up doing it for themselves. And this is what I mean. It's like, it's a sickness. And people are so gullible. They fall for it. Like, so gullible. Okay, so anyway, I just want you to see this GoFundMe that Latrice Allen set up for herself and her son. Now we're talking a woman here that has 137K subscribers, likes to brag about what she owns, how much she owns, expects people to donate to her each and every single time she's on YouTube, which is almost every day now, and it's been like that for years. Not to mention what she pulls in from her other social media networks, right? Likes to rub it in everybody's face that, you know, she owns this house, and, you know, she owns that house, and she had that car, and she's got this car, and she's buying that, and, you know, and she's eating crabs, which is not an expensive food group to be eating every day, or every second day, or whatever it is, right? You know, getting her hair done all the time, right? Bragging on about this, bragging on about that. And now she's crying on a video, her last video, not the one I just showed you, but the one before that. And don't forget, she likes to do skits, so she's very good at acting, right? That's part of her persona, right? Crying on about how Facebook isn't paying her, keeping her jacked up with her taxes. She can't file her taxes because Facebook hasn't forwarded her money, or if not that, then it's some sort of, you know, form that proves that she made X amount of dollars so that she can pay her fucking taxes, so that she can move on and pay her bills. She admits that she's got money, she's making enough, I think, at this point, to pay the mortgages on her houses and car note and buy food for the kids and do her hair and whatever it is, buy her crabs and help people when she randomly helps people, to which you don't get no real documentation in terms of those follow-up videos as to who she really helped and how she really helped them. She just says she does it, right? And you coming in with a fucking GoFundMe asking for $50,000. So far she's raised $1,190 so that her son and her can go traveling around the country to promote a mother duo act when it comes to singing songs. And right? As she still expects you to give her those cash apps, pay her membership fees, do the super chat with the super stickers, whatever that's supposed to mean. Get your little stars on, whatever that's supposed to mean. If you notice, I don't have a cell phone, so I wouldn't know. And I couldn't even get a cash app in Canada, even if I wanted to. So right there, YouTube is discriminating against me. Because that's the big one for these YouTubers. They rely on their cash apps because the money goes directly to them when the donation is made. Whereas if they go through YouTube, YouTube takes 30 to 50% off. I don't know. I hear 30%. I hear 50, either or. They're making money there, not including their ad revenues, right? Da-da-da-da. And like, why? Why? A week ago, I got somebody telling me, do a GoFundMe, whether it's me or Lady Jane, and not even a week later, we've got Latrice Allen running next with Raw Squad, with Raw Squad's GoFundMe to promote, to give money for themselves, people. Like, it's pathetic. It's pathetic. Latrice Allen and Caden Allen's music event journey. She wants $50,000. This is a GoFundMe. This is public. She's already gathered up $1,190, but it stopped. It slowed down. Maybe some people are catching the clue. I don't know. But what I noticed is initially, where's my finger? My eyes have been getting really wonked out on me. Initially, she didn't have the GoFundMe address right in her title. This video just came out 2 days ago. I watched it. It's scandalous. But because the donations dried up before she got to her quota, she's now put it there because that's how fucking desperate this woman is. Because she's never satisfied. And if you notice, YouTube directs all the traffic to people like this. Why? She doesn't say anything of substance. She doesn't say anything of substance. She doesn't fight the good fight for nothing, other than maybe for herself and the few little friends that she might have along the way, just so that she can say that she's charitable. But outside of that, she doesn't put herself on the line for nothing. She doesn't stand up for nothing. Nothing. But YouTube props her up. Isn't that interesting? Same thing with Raw Squad. And now you've got the two of them playing the public, hustling them with the GoFundMes. Yeah. As they're creeping other people's pages to figure out a way how they can run their next quote-unquote scam, people. Scam. Isn't that what scams are about? You hustle people to get money out of them for yourself. Isn't that what a scam is? Well, it seems to me it never ends when it comes to those two individuals. And there's quite a few of them like that on YouTube within the African American community, which is inundated. They've inundated YouTube streets. But they don't have no substance. They don't represent anything of substance. Because they do for self. Okay. Now that I got that off my chest. So we can't do a GoFundMe for Lady Jane because it's impossible. I don't even think Lady Jane could do a GoFundMe Uganda. And if she can attempt to do it. But she's it's hard to say. You don't know until you try things. So Lady Jane, maybe you should be thinking about a GoFundMe for your charitable work. Okay? I'm just saying. You can't expect someone like me to do it because I wouldn't be able to, one, generate the traffic to it. I live a very sheltered life. And two, even if I was to gather up a bit of funds, I'm a target, right? Because I'm on low income and government will be telling me that I can't do GoFundMes because I'm on social assistance and therefore any money that I would generate would have to come off my welfare check. And God forbid if I ever sent it to Uganda, because under Canadian law that would probably be a no-no because they'd be afraid that I would be supporting a terrorist group. So before they would allow me to send that GoFund money to you, they'd take it away from me. So the only way we'd ever get a GoFundMe is if you create one for yourself. It's up to you. Okay. Now, let's get down to the crunch of... I got too many pages up. It's so hot in here. To part 2 of this video that is converting right now. So technically, I'm kind of helping 2 families, 2 households. Because we've got the 11-year-old girl, to whom I don't very often talk about, who basically has taken on the role of a mother and is looking after the siblings that are in her care, and is making food every day that she sells on the curbside in order to provide for her siblings and herself. Because that is better than going into an orphanage, in her mind. And it wouldn't be unusual for African children, I'm not even going to say boy or girl, African children to take on the role of a parent when there's a parent lacking. Whether the parent is ill and can't take on the role of active parenting in terms of housework, cooking, cleaning, looking after the kids, da-da-dee-da-da, or maybe the parent died, right? Or in some households, it's traditional where the oldest out of the siblings tends to look after the siblings as the parent is out and about doing things, usually work. So, with that said, the 11-year-old girl's mother died. She has no father, and before she'd see her siblings in an orphanage, she took on the role of the parent and does everything a parent would do, which wouldn't be unusual for a young African child to do if those circumstances were to arise. So, food, when I donate money for food, some of that money for food trickles in to that household, where Lady Jane will take some food and give it to the 11-year-old, so that the 11-year-old doesn't have to, I guess you could say, work as hard, right, to provide for her family and be stressed out about maybe not making money and not having enough food to feed her siblings, compared to having some food in the house and, can have, what, quality of living to not worry about where your next meal is coming from? Like, come on, people. That's what I'm saying, okay? And then, of course, we've got Mama Peter, right, who lost her husband and lives in a community where apathy has been a problem, which is not unusual in any community, really, because we've got that same problem here in Canada, right in the heart of the city, where everybody is saying, oh, you lost your housing, oh well, good luck, you're on your own, fuck you, get out of here, I don't want to hear your sob story, you're not the only one, as they're amassing great wealth for themselves over there, okay? So that wouldn't be unusual. Or just even crabs in a barrel, everybody just struggling for the same cause of just trying to exist, and they're just right, you know what I'm saying, and what that does is it builds in dysfunction within the community as a whole, and as the poverty roots itself deeper into the community, where it becomes perpetual, and then you get into the degradation of the community, and then the mental health issues that surround that degradation. And so, Mama Peter is caught up in the middle of that, right? But with that, though, other issues are coming to the surface, because on one hand, I'm giving you the backstory, okay? Because on one hand, this computer is noisy, isn't it? Because on one hand, I hope you can hear me. Because on one hand, oh, I'm so hot. It's so hot in here, people, you don't even know. On one hand, there are members in the community where Mama Peter lives, where they're extremely happy for her that somebody from a different country, Canada in this case, has taken an interest in helping her so that she can stabilize her household and work towards becoming more self-sufficient. But that's a long process. And I don't know if I can follow through till the very end, because it's expensive after a while, right? And I'm already in high debt. We know that. And, you know, I don't want to build my own resentments along the way as I fork over money, knowing it's for a good cause. But then, on the other hand, I'm keeping myself further in debt versus trying to dig myself out, right? And that's why I'm asking for outside help. Whether it came from American YouTubers or now people in Uganda that, I don't know if they have clout or not, but clearly are trying to be community activists to one degree or another with good intent for the purpose of goodwill, right? So with Mama Peter, it kind of goes down to, you can't help everybody at one time, right? I mean, obviously that's impossible. And, you know, if you help one, you help the world, right? So, got to kind of focus on Mama Peter and her family before we can branch out and help others in the community. But because of that situation, for every yay-sayer that's happy for her, there's a few naysayers in there that are jealous, who are bullies, and who are stewing and are challenging Lady Jane on the idea that whatever she's doing for Mama Peter, she should also be doing it for them. And because Lady Jane is not, they're making subliminal threats, whether directly or indirectly, that if Lady Jane doesn't start coughing up some food for them, I'm just saying, it might get ugly, to where Lady Jane has informed me, Andre, quiet, has informed me that she had to involve the chairman. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that is the pastor of her church. I don't know if that is the mayor of her village, as in a mayor or a chief. I don't know who this person is. All I know is she had to have this person intervene and talk to these women, 3 of them in fact, to back off and leave Lady Jane alone to do her charitable work that results from my actions with my boots on the ground in Canada. Because if I didn't do what I've been doing, Lady Jane wouldn't be able to do what she's been doing. So therefore, those women have no right to accuse Lady Jane of anything, or to threaten her, or to expect anything from her. Because that's not the focus right now. I'm not saying it's not the focus. Clearly it is the focus. But I suppose if you wanted to get mad at anybody, before you should get mad at Lady Jane, who lives in your community, why not get mad with the rich Americans who look like you in terms of the color black, who couldn't give a rat's ass as to whether your kids ate food or not, because they're so self-absorbed with their own money-hungry, grubbing ways. But of course that information won't get to those women because they live in a small village and they're maybe somewhat primitive with their emotions. I'm not saying primitive in mind, but primitive in emotions. Jealousy is jealousy. It's hard to control jealousy, especially if you're feeling desperate and you wish you could have even a little bit of what somebody else has. And whatever little bit Mama Peter gets from me really isn't enough to spread around the neighborhood. It's just enough to get her by for a couple of months in food, if that. But what happens is the children, little Peter, and Mama Peter's other children, they have friends that live right next door, or 2 or 3 doors down. And the little kids come and they play and they visit. And they're looking and they're watching Mama Peter cook some food. And maybe there isn't a lot of food in their house. So of course they're not going to be too quick to go home because they're hungry. They want to eat before they go home. And Mama Peter's not going to feed them. I mean, not Mama Peter is not going to say, go home, go home. If she's cooking, she's going to feed the children. That's what we do. I did it with my kids' friends. Which makes the food go faster out the door. Because you've got the neighborhood kids coming by for a snack. Coming by for a meal. Because they're hungry. Right? As some of those parents are taking advantage of that situation by not even being maybe grateful that their kids can go over and play and have a meal, where they're just kind of like bullying Lady Jane to cough up the goods. I can't afford that, people. So yeah, Joel, if you're watching part 2 of this video, this is why we need to bring in program development and find a way to make it more available for more households. When they need food, they can get the food for their families without having to compete for it. As that's what's happening. People are starting to compete for it. And that's not what I intended, people. I'm trying to build in food security, not a food fight, okay? And I'm really hot. It's hard talking about this stuff. For various reasons. You know? So let me take a break, and then we'll just jump into these videos. And then we'll just let it iron itself out for a little while, see what happens. Right? I kind of know in what direction I'm going in myself personally, but at some point, you know, we need more people stepping up to the plate. We need more noble women, and we need more, I guess you could say noble men, to be part of the solution. But YouTube corrupts people, you know, it really does. I don't know. Hold on a minute. Okay, so before we get on with Lady Jane and her videos, here's that post from Truly Amazing. Okay, 9 days ago, people. She clearly sends me to Miss Judy, please, I know you're very kind and caring, but you have done so much already. I hope you are doing well and your grandkids. Is there an option for a GoFundMe she can set up for help? Just checking if that is an option. So here's Truly Amazing. Shelley is suggesting that Lady Jane should consider opening up a GoFundMe to which Lady Jane should see if she can even do that. And then as long as you pay the taxes on it, you're good to go. All right, how you promote it and get donations, I don't know, Lady Jane. Right, because we're being spoofed on the internet by individuals who play the system, knowing that YouTube is going to prop them up and send all the traffic that way to keep basically people fighting in the end when you want to come right down to the crunch. Okay, it was listed, that post is in the we're rolling the dice. Where does it become charity? And which I made that on June 9th, July 4th of 2024. Okay? But if we go on to Latrice Allen's GoFundMe, if you look here, created 2 days ago. She just created this 2 days ago, people. Right? As if she got some great big brainstorm. And because it stopped clicking in with the money, she turned around and she put the GoFundMe address right into her title. She just added that in because when she made the initial video to promote it, she didn't have that there. But because the funds are drying up and the donations aren't coming in like she thought they were going to come in, she put it up in everybody's face. As if her story is more important than little Peter's story. Okay? This is how I know she creeping my page. Yeah, you go ahead and creep. Because that's kind of your style. That's when I say she's a hustler, I'm not kidding. Alright. Where I think Lady Jane is just kind of bumbling along, trying to figure out how to help people without overtaxing herself or being attacked, to which she, like I said, she's had to call in the chairman of her community to inform those 3 women that have been making threats on her to back the heck off, that whatever Lady Jane is coming with for Mama Peter is coming from Canada. And that those people have absolutely no right to attack Lady Jane for not giving anything to them. And just what I've shown you and I've been talking to you about, you know I've been fighting hard on behalf of that community in Uganda as a whole so that more people could benefit than just this little girl and Mama Peter. But that's not what Westerners want on average. Right? There's just a few of us speckled in between that capitalism of gimme, 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 gimme some more and give me, and even then I want you to give me. Alright. Let's get on with it. It's kind of depressing.
There is a customer who came and she was actually
okay, now I watched this video
because
I watched this video. I put it into my playlist. Look at this. She's live. Flying fish and cooking grits. Yeah, stuff your face. So annoying. Well, children starve. And don't come back and try and tell people that you're trying to make your son successful and that once he gets rich, that's when he'll dig deep into his pockets and help the community. Because we know that's one big fat lie, like your freaking fat ass, right? Oh, wait till I get rich, Judy Chorney and your New Nations Unity. New donations! New donations! September, no, what is it? October, November, September, I don't know. She doesn't even say it in unison. You go September, October, October, November, December. She misses something. She says September, October, December. September, November, December. Does she miss October? Why? Because she plays fucking games with people's heads. That's why. She's running with the devil with her forked tongue talking about she's with God. Okay? You don't need to get rich in order to help somebody. You don't need to get rich in order to be able to help a community. You don't need to get rich in order to be able to help a country, whether it's your country or somebody else's country. Let's get the record straight. What you need is integrity. Something that woman doesn't have. All right. So here, Lady Jane, this was about a month and a half ago or whenever, a month ago. Normally when I give her money, it takes her a week or two before she does her follow-up videos, right? Because, you know, she has to travel. She has to buy the food and then go travel and then come back and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this video was uploaded about a month ago. So about a month and a half ago, gave her the money, $250 or whatever it was. This is not, this is when I, out of the blue, Lady Jane didn't see it coming. I told her to go off and buy some cast iron pots for Mama Peter, like cast iron Dutch oven, cast iron frying pan, so that, you know, she has the means to make bread with or without fire, because it's so hot there during the day. You put that cast iron under the sun and it's going to cook the bread on the inside. And that perhaps Mama Peter could create herself a little part-time job, because in those days, if she wasn't digging in the dirt, she was washing clothes for people in the village, which was kind of like starting to eat up her hands with the soap and everything, and it was making her sick, and she was getting heart palpitations. So anyway, long story short, Lady Jane went off and bought Mama Peter a pressure canner, because first of all, she couldn't find a cast iron Dutch oven, and apparently the pressure canner was something that Mama Peter wanted to do cow's feet, so that she could make that and then go on the road and sell it and make money that way. To which she did, but then one of her children got sick, took the child to the hospital, and they had to pay for the hospital, so any capital that was made from that process basically went for hospital fees, as the food depleted in the house, as Mama Peter, you know, every now and then is feeding the neighborhood kids because they're coming by to play with her kids. And yeah, so that's what provoked me to do another $200 donation just a week ago, just to top off with the food in the house. But Lady Jane goes to see this little girl with her siblings.
They lost their mother to an accident, I think, because of stress the mother had that day, because
and donated food to her.
Been studying ever since,
right?
Ever since, like,
she wants to go to school, but there's no money for that. This is what I mean. Where's the government? The government should be helping with that, right? Obviously, you can see that she's happy with the food, with a big smile on her face, right? You can find this in my playlist, okay? I don't know.
Please leave a comment. And
can we comment on this one? Yes, we can. Nobody's commenting, but nobody can see the video because it's been moved onto a new channel that's not being promoted, that's not connected to a playlist from the main channel.
Like, she was literally happy. The first time she was actually crying because they didn't have anything completely. So, as I was still telling you...
So that's another household that had no food. That was the first time she went with the food, because there was very little food, because the girl was making just enough to buy enough little bit of food, to make money to buy little food for her family, and it was just a big round of rigmarole, right? And then along came the beans and everything else that Lady Jane bought with my first donation, and gave her food where there wasn't so much pressure to have to sell food to buy a little bit of food. But eventually that food started to run out too. So Lady Jane came by and topped it off. Okay, that's what's happening here.
Guys, her school fees is $35.
I can't take on school fees, people. I just can't. I can't even keep up with what I'm doing right now, and I've been kind of trying to let Lady Jane know that I can't. Right? I mean, I can, but I can't. The longer I do, the deeper in debt I either stay or go into. And with what's going on in my world, no, I can't. I can't do that, people, because, you know, I'm already facing homelessness when I leave this house. I don't want it to be a slam dunk for my government to exploit my family any more than they've already been exploiting my family. So this is why I'm crying out for help. But you can't get help from people like this. You can't get help from people like this. Okay, it's impossible. It's impossible. That's not what they're here for. Okay? They're here to redirect the traffic for YouTube, to prop up something that is self-interest for self, that either divides the community through squabbling, fighting back and forth, name-calling, posturing, dog walking, whatever you want to call it, or to give a false illusion of a successful content creator. I mean, it doesn't take much talent to sit there and slobber on a whole bunch of freaking crabs, video after video after video, slurping the soup, sucking back, not even chewing the spaghetti, right, in terms of content, while they're begging from their side of their mouth to prop up their lifestyle as they ignore serious issues such as what I bring to the table.
$35 is our school fees. So I think, like, currently school has already started.
So this is where program development needs to come in, right, in terms of that brainstorming. You start in the center and then you start out branching. Well, you know, the community needs this, the community needs that, and, you know, and there's this amount of kids that, you know, need to go to school. It's going to cost that much. Where does the money come from? How can we get the money? What can we do to get the money? Or whatever, you know, if there's this many households facing food insecurity, there's this many households, you know, how can we bring in a local food bank? Or if they have a local food bank through their church, how can we make it more streamlined and proficient, where it's meeting more households and getting them through hard times, people? Okay, so anyway, let's go on to the next video. I don't want to drag this out. Okay? And then on this video here, alright? Now, I think I did do a follow-up video, but then I think I deleted it because I wasn't happy with it. Or maybe I did upload it. I don't know. I just know that I told Lady Jane. Because what happens is,
There is not any single day I come here and
what happens is, when Lady Jane comes with gifts, the children, they get so excited. It really becomes a happy time, right? And, you know, this is where community activists have to be careful and make a conscious effort to not try and replace the parent, because we ourselves, Andre, quiet, because we ourselves are needy for attention. We don't do it for attention, people. We do it because it's the right thing to do. So in that situation, you know, Lady Jane was telling me how when she came with the food or whatever, right, little Peter would act like he didn't have a mom, and he wanted just to hang out with Lady Jane, and he was completely ignoring his mom. Right? He didn't want to be anywhere near his mom. He didn't want to listen to his mom, none of that crap. And I said, well, that's because you come and represent happy time. Right? You know what I'm saying? So that would be normal, especially from a toddler. So in that situation, Lady Jane, you just, you know, remind them that you're just a mama Jane. right? You're not their parent. The child always has to listen to the parent. You show the respect to the parent by encouraging the child to listen to the parent. But I think Lady Jane got a little confused with what I was trying to say, because first of all, I reminded her that little Peter is too young to even understand that concept, right? All he knows is there's, happy time. Lots of food, lots of laughter, mom's happy, everybody's happy, right? The kids are happy, right? Lady Jane is happy. So he just falls in line with that, right? But, it's up to Lady Jane to be respectful of the parent and never try to overstep the parent's authority. But I think Lady Jane got a little confused and wouldn't let Peter approach her because she was trying to internalize what I was trying to explain to her, and kind of said, no, you stay with your mom. And then, of course, he got miserable looking. You can see that. And I remember making a video on it, but I think I deleted it because I wasn't comfortable with how I was trying to express what I was saying. Because when I used to work at Gateway Place, people, all the kids loved me. I could have ran off and went to Mexico with those kids if I wanted to. That's how much they loved me, because of the things that I was doing out in the courtyard with them, okay, in terms of community program development. And that's, you have a very huge responsibility when you're in that position to preserve, protect, I don't know, the integrity of the parent. And you have to remind the children that, yeah, you love Mama Lynn and Mama Lynn loves you, but at the end of the day, you go home and you listen to your parent, because it's your parent who comes first, not me, not Mama Lynn. No matter how many happy times I give you, right? In other words, don't trust strangers. Go home to mom. Go home to dad. Listen to your mom. Listen to your dad, right? Because we know what can happen when people are in positions where they're, with children, and how they can overstep their bounds, and it can become insidious, right? So before you allow that to happen, you put boundaries and you let the children know that, yes, okay, I know you're having fun, but it's time for you to go home. If your mom says you got to go home, you got to listen to your mom. You go home. I'm not the one to tell you, no, you don't have to listen to your parent. I am the one that tells you you have to listen to your parent. That's what I was trying to express to Lady Jane. At this age, they just want to be happy little kids. So let little Peter just be little Peter. Mama Peter, she's not feeling insecure. Okay? So I don't think Mama Peter is feeling insecure with anything that Lady Jane is doing. So, but sometimes mothers and fathers, well, not so much the fathers, unless of course they're, got their balls in their wives' purses, then maybe they might feel insecure. But women that feel insecure and feel threatened by people that are community activists that actually go out and do positive things with children, and if their children happen to come along and participate in that, those parents will get jealous and then start accusing you of this and accusing you of that, and try and cause trouble here and try and cause trouble there. So, before any of that happens, you just remind the kids, if your mom's saying go home, go home. Listen to your parent. They come first. And so anyway, throughout this whole video, both of them look kind of miserable. Mama Peter, because in part she's not feeling very well. She was having heart palpitations and pains. Obviously, she's worried about the future, right? And then little Peter, because he was basically made to sit on his mother's lap, when in fact he probably wanted to be running around bouncing and being in his happy mode, right? And just not listening to mom. Not that mom would have told him to do anything anyway, but I think Lady Jane kind of said, no, you sit with your mom, and he didn't like it. Because you can see he's kind of giving her the evil eye. So Lady Jane, just let him be himself, right? You know what to do. He's too little. He doesn't understand, right? But if you're walking away and he's following you and mom is saying, Peter, Peter, come back, that's when you turn around and you tell him, go back to mom. You listen to mom. That's basically what I was trying to say. Don't be the Pied Piper to try and lead the children away from their parents. Okay? Because when you're in a position of being a community activist where you bring that happy time to children, it's very easy to become the Pied Piper and lead them astray. And that's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to build up communities, not bust them up and steal their children. So let him be himself. You're walking away. If he refuses to go back to mom, you take him back and you just remind him, you listen to mommy, and I'll see you next time. Okay.
Him to miss out of the video. I want him to be there every day. At least Mama Lynn has to see him every single day because Mama Lynn loved him.
She's right about that. She got me pegged. Oh yeah, and I do. I say fond, but yeah, no, I love little Peter. I do. I love him and I love his family, and I wish I could do more for him and his family as well as his community, but I don't know. The world is a terrible place. And it's not easy to navigate around that terrible place. But we do what we can. So one day at a time.
Loves him so much. Baby, how are you?
See?
So guys, hello guys, welcome back to the channel.
He was indignant.
So I got...
He was indignant. Because he was made to sit on his mother's lap. Right? Because... I think, like I said, Lady Jane misinterpreted what I was trying to tell her, right? In terms of, you know, there's that fine line between being the Pied Piper that brings the happy time and then leaving the children with their parents, compared to the Pied Piper who brings the happy time and then leads the children astray. Not that Lady Jane would do that, because I know she wouldn't, right? But you have to remember, I've been mentoring her. So whenever something on my mind comes up, I tell her the way my experience with things over time unfolded, and why I did and thought the way I did when I used to do things. Okay? And I know she would agree with me. Right? The last thing you want is somebody coming into your world, giving your kids happy time to the point where they don't want to go home and listen to you. No. It would be very easy for me to go out there and do stuff and get kids not to listen to their parents. But what good would that be unless I had some nefarious reason for that? I don't. Right? So I just reminded Lady Jane that there are parents out there that are going to get jealous because you're giving the kids happy time. I didn't think Mama Peter was feeling jealous. I just gave her the warning that if you keep up what you're doing, sooner or later you're going to come into women, mainly women, who are jealous because they can't do the things that you can do by providing happiness to other children, right? And before they allow you to continue making other people's children happy, they're going to try and make it where you can't do anything, right? And or you're going to come into contact where kids are just going to want to follow you to the end of the earth because you bring in that happy time, and they'll disregard their parents, where you, as like a godmother maybe, remind them that no. Yes, we had happy time, but it's time now for you to go home and listen to your mom and your dad. Because sometimes kids have to hear that too, right?
Mama Pitanga, she's eating. She's cooking here. The other kid has gone to, she's eating.
Okay, so if you listen, you can hear other people in the background, which tells me that whatever Mama Peter is living in must be these row houses. If you want to call them a house, we'll just call them row houses. They're not really the equivalent of a house, but for them it is, right? So no disrespect. So she must be connected to these row houses where you're right next door to your neighbor, and so on and so on and so on, because I couldn't figure out where the chitter chatter was coming from. But the more videos I watch from Uganda and I look at the building structures, I can see that, yeah, it's a form of row housing, very closely put together, that would allow for that chatter to filter into the video, right?
Cassava mixed with the beans. This one here in Uganda, we call it katogo. We call it katogo. And guys, I've been like passing through a lot with Mama Peter.
He wants to get up and play and run around.
Here she is. And even those of Peter were brought back.
Right.
So ever since she got sick, she has been like crying.
But she won't let him. I mean, he's pouty. Can you see? He's pouty. He wants to be in his happy time. Right? But again, I don't think Lady Jane fully understood what I was trying to say when it related to, you know, just be careful. Make sure you remind the kids always to listen to their parents. That's the biggest gift that we can give the family, is to hold them together with the children respecting the parents. Now, mind you, if there's abuse in there and it's discovered there's some kind of abuse, well, that's different. But when it comes just to your average family, there's so many negative forces pulling them apart, that the best gift that we can give them really is to hold them together by ensuring that the kids listen to the parents, because it's the parents who love their children the most and want what's best for them the most. Right?
Pain. At first, me, I took it for granted. Pain. My heart is paining me. My chest is pain. So for me, I thought it was just something simple, like for 1 day or 2 days. But when we took her there for the scan, they said there is nothing wrong with the heart. So they gave us some tiny medicine, but so that she can actually swallow to... I don't know exactly the explanation for that medicine, but they gave her also for pressure. They're also very tiny. She has also some pressure, and they did what I call a lot of testing. I even don't know which testing, but the pressure thing they tested for free. Tested or measured. Leave a comment in the comment section. So the one for the heart, here the scan, they do it at 150. Pressure can be 20,000 if you go to maybe private facility, I don't know, government, because that's where we went. They do it at 20,000, that's like $5. So today 150 went, we used the transport, put also transport for me to go down to buy these things. I brought for her some...
Yeah, that was when I did the $200 out of the blue for the cast iron Dutch oven, the cast iron frying pan, and a toy truck, Tonka size truck, right? Tonka tight size truck for little Peter and some miscellaneous food, right? That was just kind of woke up in the morning and I don't know, I just did it. I felt it was the right thing to do. So it came kind of at a good time because they had no money to go to the hospital and do those things with, right? So I think some of that money went for that as well.
Good things. Then, because of the current situation, even the mother to Mama Peter is sick. Just called this evening. Hey, you guys, I don't...
Yeah, little Peter was in the hospital at one point too. They thought maybe he had malaria. I'm not sure if that's what he had, but he was quite sick as well.
No, but I pray God allows me. Today you guys will not see me in the video because personally I'm not feeling well. I've been having sleepless night ever since I started to frequent the hospital with this lady. Things have not been okay. So those of Peter that have not been staying with the mother, I think it is now coming to 4 days. When did I last talk to Mama Lee? I don't also remember. And my phone has also been off. So I have to explain this thing thoroughly. Well. So we used almost 2...
You can hear all the noise in the background, so this is very close housing, row housing.
200,000 because 150 to go there, to the hospital to do the scan. Coming back, since she's swallowing medicine, I also had to buy some juice, buy what, and also I've added the big juice for 18,000. 18,000 is like 20,000, 18,000 Ugandan shilling is equivalent to $5 here. So she's now back home. I'm still trying to monitor the situation, but at least you can see. Because the other time she's just crying. You call her, like I've never seen Mama Peter when she's annoyed. But you people literally, when someone maybe is going to die, they become tough. Or she was tough, lying on the down. Like when she want to susu, I've never kept someone like that. She's my first time. When she want to susu, you bring a basin. She susu in the basin and you take it out the other side. That's where the bathrooms are. You see that bathroom there? That's where the bathrooms are. You take again. She susu, like literally let me say, someone can be suffering, but at least for me, I was trying to save life, and everything happens for a reason. I didn't make an agreement with it. Like, I didn't even know that Mama Lynn will send money, like, so soon. She sent money, and that money has really helped. But I've tried to I got her the frying pan, got for her the cooker, the pressure cooker, but the cooker. I got for her some cooking oil. I didn't buy food because that money for food I decided to give it to her. At least let her also eat some diet. She knows what she wants, because the cat.
Okay, so she didn't give her food this time. She just gave her whatever was left over in money after she spent whatever it was that she spent, whether it had to do with medicine, the juice, or just, I think she bought oil. She bought obviously the pressure canner and the frying pan, which was not a cast iron frying pan, but that's okay, right?
Current situation, the woman cannot dig. You guys, she used to dig for people to get some money to buy soap, to buy what, but I bought for her soap last time. She can't dig, like the pain is still there, but very little. So we wanted actually to know whether there is some problem with the heart, maybe the heart as a whole, but it is okay. I think also because of, it is the doctors who recommended that, not it was that our own making. We just wanted to go. We didn't even have money, but at least the money Mama Lynn sent helped us a lot, and I thank God for that.
So yeah, and like I said, little Peter wasn't feeling very well there prior to, she wasn't feeling well. First it was him with fever and puking and everything, where he was rushed off to the hospital with everyone thinking he had malaria. And then he came back, and then, I don't know, she started not feeling very well. Clearly she's probably still suffering from depression. And, she's a smart woman. She knows that her circumstances is precarious, and it's being, you're trapped, right? It's hard to dig yourself out of manufactured poverty. Doesn't matter where it's being manufactured, right? She doesn't have her husband to help her, right? The community is, on one hand, happy for her. Well, on the other hand, there are some that are plotting against her, and she knows that, so it's playing on her mind. And yeah, lots of variables in there, right?
Everything happens for a reason. She didn't have money. I remember when I was talking, she didn't have money. Mama didn't have money. So I even wondered where she got the money she sent, and she just sent the money, but that money has been everything. It has helped so much, though I also bought for other things, as you are going to see.
I went into my overdraft, Lady Jane. That's what I did. And then I had to pay it back, which puts me behind, which is why I'm asking for more help from other people.
See, but out of the money I used, we remained with the 93,000. I had to hand it over. And today we are in a safer place here, because most neighbors, I don't know whether they are sleeping or, because literally when I bring for her things, people can be here, many, all here, you find people, they are gathered here, they are just standing, they want to see.
Okay, so this is where I brought up some animosity starting to fester, because they don't understand why Mama Peter is getting all the donations and they're not. And I can understand that. And if I was in their shoes, in their situations, I'd probably feel the same way. Right? But I'm only capable of doing so much. I can lead other people to water, but I can't make them drink. I can't make them care about anything or anybody outside of maybe they just don't care and will never care, and you have to accept it and move on and find a different way. And that's what I'm trying to do while not dropping the ball.
So today, people, they are not there. You find here all people, they are gathered, they want to see. I'm telling you. But today we are very lucky.
Even though I already told Lady Jane I was dropping the ball. Right? So the ball is just juggling right now. It hasn't been completely dropped. I dropped it, but for whatever reason it bounced back up, and it's just kind of like juggling around right now in the air, right?
Lucky, she's alone. And I'm so grateful for that. So since they recommended that and she was still complaining, but ever since we came back she's not complaining. Guys, I slept in this house. And subscribe and respect me. Go and subscribe and respect me, because sleeping, I've also tested what I didn't know I would have tested. Sleeping in here was not easy. The day it rained, it was like when there is no ceiling board in the house, there is a way it makes that noise. You cannot get that sleep. So though it is not linking, I confirmed that. The only problem I have is the floor. The floor gets really very cold, like at 3 a.m. in the morning, very cold. Remember, I was sleeping down on the mat, guys. I had to monitor the situation so that if anything happens, I cannot actually rush her to the hospital. It is not easy. So here I am. I've brought for her some few things, and Peter is here yawning. Peter, I brought for you juice. I bought for her juice, since you guys, anyone who's swallowing medicine needs juice. And another elaboration, the car for Peter, we have ordered it on Jumia online. Peter, come. We have ordered it online, so the car will reach here on the 20th or 26th. I think I will touch at...
So there now she's talking about the car that she ordered online. It was supposed to come on to the 26th of June. But when it did finally come, I guess it was just a little, you know, Hot Wheels type, something very small, right? Because it came in a small box with just a small sticker on it. It wasn't what we wanted. So Lady Jane took it back to some office in Kampala, and then eventually she came back, and that's what the last video was about, I think, which is what she just recently did here with the food, because she didn't have the car, right?
Attach that for Mama Lynn on the email and also the description. There are things I have to attach for Mama Lynn to see.
So basically,
his car is not here, but the day the car will arrive, I will also do the video for it. Okay, guys, I'll also do the video for it so that you see that the car has arrived safely. The toy truck, we have ordered it online. We tried to look for it around the town. It is not there. And by the way, guys, we are very far away from town, very far. So I went to town, I think, 3 times, trying to find out things Mama Lynn told me. But still, the dash oven was not there. So I couldn't even order that one online, because sometimes what you order online here in Uganda, I'm talking of Uganda, it's not what you get. I even don't know the toy truck I've ordered, but let us wait and see what will reach here anyway. So let us start giving her her things. So I bought for her cooking oil, big one, so that at least she can fry some chips and so on. That one, price tag is there. These things I bought them in the supermarket, so the price will differ. The price tag is here. Show them. Price tag is here. This is the price tag. That is 32,000. Like this. Guys, can you see that? 32,000. Here, the price tag. And the juice, you also have the juice. The juice, let me see the price tag. But I remember I bought it at 18,000. Not so. 18. The juice Sunsip. So the juice is also here. I remember the price tag has moved away, but I know. Let me first check here. I can't find that price tag of it, but I remember I bought that one 18,000, equivalent to $25. Yes, $5. Then I bought for her also just few things, because this lady currently she needs money because the mother is also sick. So that is what prompted me also to give her the money, so that at least she can get transport to go and see her mother also, than buying food, because she has food. The kids have not been around. The kids have not been around. So food is still there and we are grateful. So I don't know what she will do with the 93. I don't know. So I got for her this, the biggest. I don't know exactly what that's exactly what Mama Lynn meant. Please,
Okay,
Mama Lynn, leave a
that's not-
comment. I'm so sorry.
That's
but
not what I meant, because that is Teflon, and that's a forever chemical, so they say, which is not good for the human body. I'm pretty sure that is Teflon covered. But what can you do, right? That is not a cast iron frying pan, by no means. Right? So for a quick fry, non-stick Teflon, when you don't have oil, I suppose would work well. But the more you can avoid that, Lady Jane, in the future, the better off it is, because they say these things are covered with forever chemicals within the Teflon itself. Okay? It's kind of like a wok, right? What you bought her was kind of like a wok. You would have been better off just to buy her a normal wok versus one that has Teflon on it. Teflon. To me, it looks like it has Teflon, and you want to avoid that whenever possible.
the dash, I looked for dash oven, Akuna. Jesus Christ. Actually, this has been the time Mama Lini tells me to buy things at. I look for them and I be like, God, where are they? We have the biggest supermarket in town, but it didn't have. Can you imagine what I wanted? Exactly that, because I went with my phone to show them exactly what I want, actually, but we didn't find. So, this one is already open. What have it?
And then,
this is the pressure cooker.
Yeah.
Actually, they
Where's
said
that mouse?
100% somewhere. I tried to read, but guys, it wasn't. This thing is
where's
very
the
heavy.
freaking
This
mouse, man?
one, very heavy. This one here, it has some things those things you have to fix here when the thing is cooking.
I don't know why my mouse disappears. Okay, so she got the pressure canner, to which it turns out Mama Peter really wanted one, knows how to use it. It was her dream come true, because she wanted to go off and cook cow's feet to sell on the roadside, to start a little business.
It wasn't. This thing is very heavy. This one, very heavy. This one here, it has some things those things you have to fix here when the thing is cooking.
But apparently, Mama Peter knows how to use it, so that's all that matters. You can see it.
We didn't get the dash, but at least I don't know whether Mama Lynn will be annoyed or happy. I don't know, but this I tried actually to get this. She told me not to get aluminium, but guys,
well, pressure canners come usually in aluminum, so there's really not much you can do about that, right? Anyway, Mama Peter's happy. That's all that matters, right? And apparently she used it and she made money, and she even managed to get herself a little capital. But then I think her daughter got sick and had to go to the hospital, right? So the money that she made went for hospital fees again, as the food was depleted in the house. Yeah.
we decided to get exactly what she didn't like, but that Dutch oven was nowhere to be seen. Ebyo babiteekawo bajja, they will put for you. Babiteekawo. So food, I don't know, maybe she will buy the food. Guys, people have started peeping at us anyway. Well, what are they thinking? We have come here to do. Ebyo byakusomamu just ebyokusoma ebyotujanjabi kugamba nga tumazijawo kubikugamba edda bajja kubagenda kusibira. They are going to try for you. Weyanze nnyo kuve wano. I just pray that she is very okay by the way, because right now also I think what even caused the pressure again, because she has pressure. The mother is sick also. See the sanyo. Sanyo. My God bless you. By the way, Mama Peter has a car. Peter ina motoka erija kutuka wano ku abiri. I'm trying to tell her that Peter has a car, but with the car ordered, it is not here. So that will be also another video, guys. The car is reaching here on the 20th. They put 20th or 26th, those days there. So the car for Peter also is missing. So the same Mama which Mama Lynn sent is the part of the 100 where we remove the 150. So that's why we didn't also even buy other things. Kale, bye guys. Peter, bye guys. Bye. So
and then she put down buying the cooking pot, 200,000 shillings, juice, 18,000 shillings, cooking oil, 32,000 shillings, toy truck for Peter was 75,000 shillings, without the transport, plus transport of 20,000. Distance matters a lot in this online order, so she had to pay for the shipping, right? Transport to go to town was 30,000. Detergent was 11,000. Frying pan was 49,000. Balance remaining, gave it all to Mama Peter because at the moment she has nowhere to get money. She is not digging at the moment because of her pain, and she is still even on medication, but a bit better. Now her mother is also very sick. Apparently her mom did die, because I remember Lady Jane said she was going to the funeral, right? Just decided to give it to her instead of buying more food. Besides, she still has food in the house because of the previous donation, right? There are things Mama Lynn didn't direct me to do, but couldn't leave Mama Peter to die with pain. Oh boy. There was a reason for everything to happen. Thank you so much, Mama Lynn. All right. So now we're going to go to the next video. Okay. This one here is just village life at the countryside, Uganda. And then this one she uploaded 9 hours ago. And this is a follow-up in regards to the truck. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off for a minute.
I arrive here.
And then we're going to come back because that video is done converting. So I'm going to start uploading it now. Okay, people, I'm not exactly sure when Lady Jane did this video, but it's been more recent because she had to go do a follow-up with the what happened with the truck, right? So she took the truck back, got back the money, which was about, what, 93,000 shillings, I guess? Subtract the transportation for whatever, and then she gave the remaining money to Mama Peter to buy food. I'm not sure if Lady Jane bought food for her or bought a little bit of food and then gave her the rest of the money. Either or, it's to come back and say, the truck we didn't get, but here's some food, or at least food money. Because by the time this all occurred, what food I had bought in the past was quite depleted. Okay? Alright. Now, obviously you can see better than me. There's more children, because what's happening is the children come to Mama Peter's house to play with little Peter and his sister, right? And then, of course, if Mama Peter's cooking, she will offer food to the children that are there, which is in part African culture, as well as a lot of other households with kids do that as well, right? Okay. So, in this video, Lady Jane is a little upset though, because she's starting to get harassment from mainly 3 women close by to Mama Peter's house, because they're basically jealous that they're not getting food supplements, pressure canners, mattresses, their roof done. I'm just saying. Okay? Buckets, right? Cash. And they don't quite understand why Lady Jane isn't giving to them. Where at some point Lady Jane had to involve the chairman of the community. To what degree of a chairman that person is, I don't know, to ask those women to back off and to get it through their thick skulls that whatever Lady Jane was doing was basically at the direction of me, because I'm the one doing the donations from Canada, with the request to do the follow-up videos as I try and work on program development from my end of the spectrum to see program development occur on Lady Jane's end of the spectrum by inviting other people to join that initiative, whether they're YouTubers that have taken over the YouTube streets when it comes to American YouTubers, or more recently outreach more now to YouTubers who are situated in Africa, whether in Uganda or perhaps maybe even a different country at some point in the future when it comes to Africa. But right now we're just focused on Uganda, with Joel being a person of interest, in terms of he appears to be sincere with his charitable endeavors. Alright, so this is the follow-up video of Lady Jane coming back to inform Mama Peter that there was no truck to be found.
The moment I arrive here, it's problems. Peter wants me to carry. This one wants me to carry. The other one also, this one for neighbor. These are the kids. This one here, this girl is for neighbor.
So basically what Lady Jane is saying is, as soon as she showed up, all the children ran to her and wanted her to pick them up and carry her because they're looking for that happy time. I already spoke about that, right? And I already guided Lady Jane on that. And at this age, you know, they want the happy time, okay? And so anyway, they all wanted to be held by Lady Jane because she basically represents happiness. Whether she's coming with a roof, a metal roof, whether she's coming with food, whether she's coming with a pressure canner or a bag of beans or a mattress or maybe a little bit of cash, some juice. That would be a big happy time for children, to have some juice when they have none, right? Okay, so it would be natural for them to want to go and navigate and to gain her attention, right? That is natural. But this is where us community activists have to play our piper in the right kind of way and always make sure that we don't lead the children astray from their parents, right? And so anyway, now that that's been dealt with, I'm pretty sure Lady Jane's watching this video, and sometimes hearing it is different than reading it, because I tried to explain it to her through Gmail with typing, and I don't think she fully got what I was trying to say, because I've already shown you that video where little Peter was looking completely miserable because he was, you know, being restrained from being his happy little self at his happy time. But yeah, no, definitely it's a happy time for them, because it's not that they're wanting something or they think they're going to get something. It's just, it's like a, you know, it's like a pressure valve being released. You know, even little children, they're well aware of their environment, and they know the hurdles that the parents are following. You know, they understand hardship, and, you know, in their little hearts, they can get scared, and, you know, they don't know what to do, and, you know, they're little adults, little children are little adults. You know, they're very intuitive to what's around them. You know, they know, right? They just don't know how to put it in words, and obviously they don't know how to solve the problems. Okay, so that's the first thing. Everybody wants to get on with that happy time train, right?
Even this one, they are here. So Mahavita, here in African traditional society, when someone is eating and children are passing, you are supposed to give children food. Here in Africa, you are supposed to give children food. So that's exactly what she has done.
So, the volume on Lady Jane's recording oftentimes is low. I don't know why. But basically, in Africa, what she just said was, when children are passing, you know, even passing, they don't even have to come and sit down with you. They could just be passing. And if it looks like they're hungry, you just offer them food. Okay? Right? And I can attest to that, because when I used to work with the African families at Gateway Place, they were always offering food. Oh, come in, and habari, right? Yeah, habari, jumbo, habari. Anyway, they'd invite us in. Well, not me, but Shimei and Tisha, right? A lot of Shimei, and the Shimei would come out with her friends with deep fried potatoes. Oh man, they were so good. You just can't even imagine. It makes me want to deep fry potatoes. I've been thinking about them because, you know, I've been thinking about this stuff, right? And then Joel was talking to somebody, or was it that other video with the settlement camp with the different languages? Maybe Swahili or something. I don't know. Habari. That's what one of the African families used to say all the time at Gateway Place. It was a big thing. I don't remember exactly what it means anymore. It's been a long time, right? I think hello or something similar along the lines of hello, you know, how are you kind of thing, right? And it was a big thing with my girls. Habari! Anyway, so basically what she's saying is, for as much as Mama Peter was cooking, there were times when she was feeding the neighborhood kids. Whether in passing, or whether they come and they actually sit down and play with her children. Right? Which is when you have no food or a limited amount of food with no prospect of buying more food could become problematic, but then at the same time, you're not going to turn the children away. All right.
She has given the children food. She has given the children food. Bako yitani? Rihanna, the other, this one.
So she's feeding other people's children, basically. That's
where
what she's
I normally
saying.
call like to talk with Mama Peter. When I want, for example, talk to her, with her, I want to check on her, I call this one is Mother. So this is the process. It has been a long while without appearing on the camera. But the way you have been saving, huh? Remember, process greeting you people. This girl likes food, but Africa. But now Pressa is now greeting me after finishing food. You are complicated though. So this is Peter. Peter is also coming to greet. Peter, why are you crying? Huh? Why are you crying? So guys, we even have some more issues here. The moment I come here, people they just be peeping. What has she brought for Mama Peter again? Why are you not helping us? You see, there is a way people talk here in the society which really can annoy me.
Okay.
Something which has really annoyed me.
Where is the mouse? I swear it gets hijacked. It completely disappears.
They are just talking, just jealous, the jealous heart.
Okay, so what's happening here is the majority of the community that knows what's going on in terms of Mama Peter receiving these donations is happy for her. To the point where they've even suggested, some of them, that I'm Jesus from Canada. I already mentioned that in one of my videos, to which I'm not trying to be no Jesus here, okay? Right? Where on the other hand, there's a few old crows in there. Right? Old crows. Whether they're young or they're old, doesn't matter. They act like old crows. Who are either control freaks and want to be in control, and misery likes company, or they're jealous that they're not on the receiving end like Mama Peter is with the donations, and if they can't have them, she can't have them, right? So they've been harassing Lady Jane, like I said, to where she had to go get help from the chairman of the community or some organization within the community to talk to the women to try and get them to back off and stop making threats on Lady Jane for doing charitable work, I guess you could say, at my request. I'm not in a position to help those women, right? And if I could, I would. And with that said, that's why I'm doing outreach with the initial stages of people like Joel, who may or may not participate in further program development, so we can top off with Mama Peter first and try and get her a little more established where she has a bit more quality of living, like when it comes to a cement floor with rugs on it and a lantern inside so she can see at night, so that she can stay focused on building on her entrepreneurial activities, right, in terms of getting back to using her pressure canner and cooking her cow's feet and selling that to make money for herself. Or, you know, in a roundabout way, I'm kind of thinking of maybe she should open up a daycare, being that the kids are coming by anyway. That's just an idea. Okay. But clearly it's stressing out Lady Jane.
Now you are helping that one. How is she going to remember you? Am I helping her to remember me? I'm just doing my work. Eh? I really want to help. But this one is talking the other one. This one is talking the other one. You just feel irritated. You just feel irritated. I've been really very annoyed of recent. So this lady, the neighbor who normally calls me, beeped me. Then I had to come on the ground. You guys, I don't know how to quarrel. But it is really not good to torture this woman. They are torturing her. They are bringing for her food. They are not bringing for us food. They are telling me, but you wash your back. We can what? I watch this thing. They are women like her. These are people who have blacker heart. They've been seeing.
And you know,
she has not been having.
I can see that happening, people, because it was the same kind of crap that was happening to me at Gateway Place. Or even when I did the park event and I had some dude come by and try to start ripping down my American flags because he didn't like me flying American flags at my park event. Right? And I had to argue with that dude. Tell him to bug off. You know what I'm saying? And hang up my flags again. I used to get harassed by certain individuals at Gateway Place all the time for anything I was doing, really. It didn't matter. It didn't matter if I was making Christmas wreaths on the 18th of December. It didn't matter if I was out there making birdhouses with the kids. It didn't matter if I booked an event with, Papa Riley with the DJ equipment, right? And, we did the Malcolm X chocolate milk party. It didn't matter if I was just doing simple crafts. It didn't matter if I brought out the swimming pools so that kids could have playtime with the water, right? Because, the property management let me do that, and so on and so on. It didn't matter if I came out with a lunch. There was that handful of women that just wanted to make everybody miserable. One would come out with her camera, follow me around, record me, antagonize me, threaten me, like with stupid insults or whatever. One woman, when I made this little community garden at this little spot that I could do that, it was not a community garden, but it was just, a little piece of something that had some rocks around it that I ended up transplanting tall sunflower seeds and put in a bunch of other little flowers in there and a few vegetable plants. It wasn't anything major. And I put my little New Nations Unity sign up, right? Because, I was trying to secure the federal trademark. And so, it was all being done under the license of New Nations Unity in a legitimate way with the permission from the property management. And that woman came flying out of her apartment, grabbed the sign, told me I couldn't use New Nations Unity because I wasn't native. I'm like, well, it has nothing to do with natives. It's for two countries to come together for program development so that, we have healthier communities all around between Canada and the United States. And she ran off to the property management and started complaining about me because of my sign that I did. Like, it's just stupid crap like that. So I believe what Lady Jane is telling me. Right? Misery likes company. But the other children are already there, trickling in. Because this is what you see. I'm sure there was days when Mama Peter was cooking and the children would come by to play. And the food that I had bought for her and her family, she was feeding the neighbors' kids. Right? But of course the neighbors, they wouldn't acknowledge that, especially the crabby ones, right? Because they're never satisfied. And so I don't think these children were I don't think this was the first time Mama Peter fed them. That's what I'm trying to say. Right. Hold on a minute. Okay, so before I get back to what I was talking about here, right? I just, remember I said, here comes the nightmares? Where is it? Here comes the nightmares? When was that? July 7th? And that wasn't in That wasn't even a week ago, people. This is the kind of stress I'm under. I had one, I think it was this morning. Actually, it was either this morning or yesterday morning. Now, I get up like really early, eh? Because I've been sleepy, eh? It's hot and, and I'm kind of sleeping. And so anyway, I get up at like 5:36 in the morning, whatever. It was either this morning or yesterday morning, I don't know. And what it was, because, this is resulting from my son stressing me out by throwing out my stuff into the garage, right? And I'm having to bring it back upstairs here where I have really no place to put it. Now, I do plan on trying to sell some things over the winter, but, I just put out on the road a beautiful, beautiful little Tonka-type child's chair, beautiful little chair for a toddler, and a little Barbie doll playhouse that just been sitting in my hall forever, and I put the two of them out for some family, maybe the one that comes to feed the rabbits with their little girl. They take it home. I was thinking to try and sell it for $10, but to hell with it. I just put it out on the road and gave it away with goodwill. And, but before I start throwing all this stuff out of my house, I'm going to try and see if we can, get Andre with that on Facebook, trying to sell a few things, even just for the exercise of it. But you don't even know how close I am to packing up some of these toys and just putting them outside on the road in boxes full, just for whatever reason. But the videos Andre wants, and I kind of want to keep them too, because, a lot of them like The Land Before Time, and, they have no commercials, and I still have my old, TV in a cabinet with the VCR, and I am getting cable TV I bought a part to hook that up, and either or. So, it's stressing me out, right? And there's a few other things, and and I got the yard nagging on me, and I'm baking up here in the house, and, that makes me tired. My eyes are fried. I think the dry, hot air makes my eyes worse, and not that they weren't, deteriorating on their own anyway, stress, whatever. Okay, so anyway, I told you with the stress of what my son was doing, along the nightmares will come. Well, that's exactly what just happened yesterday. We'll say yesterday morning, right? And on top of that, I'm being a little bit of a rabble-raiser, calling out the city for their antics as I'm trying to figure out through legislation and under the Criminal Code of Canada as to what kind of criminal activity is occurring that allows governments to move people from one location to another location where they're in direct harm, injury, or death, which is a crime, right? So it would be natural. And then, of course, I'm fighting for the right to life for the people that are being evicted, because I'm not doing this for myself right now. What I'm doing, maybe in the future I might try and access it, but even if I did access it, I'm up against that billion, $2 billion, $4 billion, $10 billion slush fund that taxpayers pay so that governments can abuse their power to prevent justice, right? So you pay to lose, pay to lose, pay to lose, because that chamber in that gun with Russian roulette is stacked against you. 5 bullets with one way to escape. And even then, there's no way to escape, right? Because there's something nefarious going on within our governmental systems in general, including in Uganda, which, I'm ruffling feathers one way or another, whether it's through the algorithm, to which, if you look, YouTube likes to keep me on lockdown, to demoralize me, to punish me, to make me appear, or at least to make me think I'm inferior, that I'm just a lunatic that doesn't know what they're talking about, because I'm nothing compared to Latrice Allen eating her fucking crabs, begging for money here, there, and everywhere else, in line with the Raw Squad, who likes to beg for money here, there, and everywhere else. And as soon as someone tells me to think about maybe a GoFundMe, what happens? Not even a week later, we've got Latrice Allen and the Raw Squad, who's already pimping the public, basically, for every dollar that they have, to have those dollars go to them before it would go to a good cause. Okay? You know, it stresses me out. Right? It's like a form of intimidation. So I'm dreaming. And what my dream was, is I had these shape-shifting, shapeshifters, lizard people, shapeshifters, the tall ones, right? They're very tall, they're 6'7", like those kind of shapeshifters. Cops, 3 of them. The ones that looked and kind of acted like the ones that came to my house when Shimei died. And they were supposed to be investigators. But instead of investigating Shimei's murder, they covered it up. Right? Those kind of cops. 3 of them came to my house and tried to take the kids away from me. There were no social workers, it was just the cops, people. And of course the fight was on, right? Because why? Why are you here? Go away, get out of my house. You don't belong here. But they use their positions of authority to intimidate you. Because they will protect the corporations before they will protect the people. Especially if they have something to gain from what the corporation is doing. And I can't stress it enough. Illegal organ harvesting is flourishing in the province of British Columbia, Canada, to which the cops are covering up. And that's why I'm having nightmares about it, because of what my son does to egg on nightmares through stress. So I had a nightmare within a week of predicting I would. So now I'm wondering, is that a warning, or is that things to come? Is it voice to skull? Could be. I don't know. I don't know where these dreams come from, people. Are they trying to scare me, to shut me up, so I stop fighting the good fight, so that they have so they can stay in the dark and never have light shined on them? Or because clearly they don't like what I'm saying, because they shadow ban my videos when they're not removing them. All right. Anyway, so when it comes to this, so we know that Mama Peter has been feeding other children along the way, in part because it's African tradition when the children walk by or come to play, as well as, you know, it's just common sense. They're children, right? But something's egging her. She's depressed. So maybe these women who are harassing Lady Jane are inadvertently harassing Mama Peter as well. Right? Because, you know, she's been receiving basically the donations But it makes more sense at this point to focus on the one family and stabilize the family where they have a quality of living. So there is an opportunity to build on skills so that she can eventually, hopefully, create gainful employment for herself where she doesn't have to worry about food because she'll have the money for it. But I don't know what that's going to take, people. I don't know. Right? And that's why we need to build in other safety nets. But people are so apathetic. Like so apathetic.
But they have not done anything. Instead, they're just talking. Hey, talking a lot of words.
Yeah, and that's what they were basically doing before I even showed up at the scene. They left Mama Peter to wallow. Instead of coming by and offering help, even in the smallest kind of way, she more became the gossip of the day. And everybody was kind of waiting for her to fail. Right? Back to that crab barrel mentality. Not everybody, but for the gossipers in the community. For the raw squads. Those kind of people, right?
I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. Someone has nothing to eat, but what you do is just to discourage, just discourage. Now after discouraging, what is going to come? I'm very bitter. I'm making this video with a lot of anger and with the heavy.
Okay, so what I'm going to do here, people, I'm going to end this video now because, one, I'm getting kind of tired. And two, if you notice what YouTube did here. Okay. Why? Why would they do that? Was it because of what Lady Jane was saying? It's not because there was children in the videos, because she's got other videos with children in the videos, and YouTube wasn't doing that. But very bitter. I'm making this video with a lot of anger and with heavy heart. I'm not happy. I'm not happy even just the food that ladies from coming I just brought for her, right? Because, you know, they want the food for themselves and they feel entitled to it. Mama Peter is not in a position to share that food any more than she's already sharing the food with the children as they come by or happen to walk by when she's cooking, that is, right? Little food which is from eating, and I brought for her the silver fish. That's little fish, right? Where's my fingers? Little fish, dried fish, just to get her with the children yesterday. But Andre, be quiet. But when the women was there digging, they were there just looking at the woman digging. Sometimes she digs for them and they don't even give her money. Anyway, I recommend you try and read this, but she is trying to make sure that her children are well, probably cared for, catered for. This woman CS here outside even when it has rain. Oh boy, broken English. And the rain is coming. That there has some little, that one also P them has, these transcripts aren't always as reliable as they could be. Andre, please! Andre! Andre! Oh, he's not listening. has them, quiet, bought for her, has bought for her
Is the water boiling?
what some people think, just I don't.
You don't want a big cup, right?
No.
No.
Mm-mm. I don't understand. So the main reason why I've actually made this video is because order a car for a new truck for this little man, but you guys, the toy truck which was delivered was for even less than $1, 1,000 Uganda shillings. In other words, what she paid for, 70,000 shillings, should have only costed 1,000 shillings, right? So that's why she took it back. Less than $1, which I did. I funded, like I had to go and line, and they told me, they gave me 7 days. I don't see very well. I told you my eyes are getting fried here. I don't know. I know. Yeah, I don't know. I can't be afraid to face the future, people. I just can't. I told Lady Jane I'll do until I can't do no more. Gave me 7 days and click somewhere so that they can probably refund the money, and that's what I've really done. Refund the money, but again, if I say I go to town and buy for this lady food, 70,000. Andre, please stop it. I get transport. It remains how much? It remains 15. So what I'm going to do, hand over the money for her. So she basically gave her some money with the refund. Right? But she buys food. There is a nearby place you can buy food. Then we also have just small food, because right now, as the moment I talk now, you don't have money like do that just give her. She buys small food. Then when he will be God willing, we shall purchase good big food, like the way that would be me, Mama Lynn, has been buying big food like that. So like that, I'm so sorry that the toy truck is not there for Peter. Yeah, well, I think that's by design, people. It shouldn't be that hard to find children's toys. Anyway, I would take the time to read that, right, to get a better idea of what she's saying. And so basically,
because like what I'm doing is not that I'm doing something bad. Bakuyitani? Abantu babuze bakubireko bye. Mugambe muri mutya.
So everybody's eating.
Guys, look at Peter. He's fighting with food seriously. Look at Peter. Look at Peter. Look at Peter. So
right.
Guys, I'm here with the Mama Peter, the one and only. So I've come to just Balahuan. Two,
So yeah, see?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Guys, we are in a hurry. We have bad people here. Bye, guys. Bye, bye, bye. We're here.
Okay, so that'd probably be about 70,000 shillings. The truck itself was what, 70,000, and then another 20,000 or something for delivery. So it was like 90,000, 93,000, right? Shillings. And you know, Lady Jane, I think, kept a little bit of money for herself for the transportation, right? And or maybe she used the other 20,000, bought a bit of food before she came. I don't know. Either or, like I said, I did do another donation of the 200 because she mentioned to me that the food was running out in the house, which is understandable. Andre, be quiet, because I had already done a comparison in terms of if I was to buy a bag of beans in Canada, how much would it cost me for 25 pounds? And then if I take that money and I compare it to how much it would cost to buy a bag of beans for 25 pounds in Uganda, it's almost the same amount. Yeah. Which isn't good, because they just don't have that kind of income. And that's another problem, right? I suppose, I guess, in the smaller villages, right? And I don't know how they run their cities. I really don't. I don't know how they run their settlement camps, because the people in the settlement camps, Andre, please be quiet, seem to have it better, in my opinion. But I only watched the one video, right? They seem to have it better when it comes to infrastructure to one degree or another, where, I don't know, they're getting some kind of government support. As a settlement camp. And they're catering to the various different needs of the different, I don't want to say ethnic groups, because they're all black people, but they come from different parts of Africa, right? So I don't know how you say that. Religious groups, maybe? Like out here, we get a lot of people from India. They're all Indians from India, but then they branch off into their religious sects. You've got the Punjabi Sikhs, you've got the Hindus, right? You've got the Tamils, which are a different kind of religion. They're not Hindu, they're not Punjabis or Sikhs. They're Tamil, which is at the lower end of India, but they're all Indian. So, well, it's the same thing with these settlement camps, right? So that's the end of this video. And now we're going to wait for the next follow-up video with the last donation that I just did over the last week or so. And I don't know who else to ask to help people. Right? I don't know. I don't want to get discouraged myself, right? And I'm already getting discouraged. I've been getting discouraged with it. But when I see people like Joel or Harriet the Traveler doing similar things, you know, it makes me, it rejuvenates my faith. And it makes me think that if somehow, some way we can start to come together, maybe we'll be able to make a bigger difference versus trying to do it as individuals by ourselves. I still quite haven't figured out the politics. Andre, turn it down. This is too many times I've had to say it. That go on in Uganda outside of what I've been picking up, which makes me nervous. Yeah. Because I just don't sit here and slobber on crabs. As if that is the you want to call that entertainment? Whatever. I guess whatever turns your goat, right? Okay, let's try and stay positive. That's all we can do at this point.